Good evening and welcome to Estuary TV News. I'm Hugh Richards. Tonight's programme is dedicated to Cleethorpes Carnival, to be held on Saturday the 19th of July. The parade, starting at around 3:30, should take a couple of hours to progress from Sydney Park to Meridian Park Arena, and thousands of people are expected to cheer on the greatest spectacle of the summer in the jewel of the Humber Riviera. We'll be talking to some of the organisers and joining the party planners. But first, here are the news headlines with Richard Morris.
Hello, in the headlines today, highly controversial means-tested charges and a fun day is taking place in Ellerton. North East Lincolnshire Council could introduce new means-tested charges for older people. 3 controversial recommendations were passed at Cabinet this week. The first, to make the cost of respite care dependent on a person's financial situation rather than a universal charge as at present. Secondly, a change in the way care is paid for. Currently, people pay a set charge for care, but under new plans, those who can afford it would be expected to pay up to 50% of the additional cost if they need more than one carer. Finally, the amount people can claim to pay rent if staying with their families will be capped at £13.60 a week. The proposals will mean an extra £20,000 in revenue for the council as it tries to plug the gap left by a £7 million reduction in funding from central government. Age UK said it will put pensioners under increased financial pressure, but the council said it will make the charges fairer for all.
Well, it will hit pensioners in the pocket. Some pensioners may find that because of the fairer charging based upon their ability to pay, that it won't hit them in the pocket. And that was what we were aiming to achieve, a fairer policy of charging.
Obviously, anything which causes people to have to dig more deeply into their pockets to pay for their care is going to hit people hard because they all have a limited budget into which to dip.
In the same meeting, North East Lincolnshire Council rejected criticism that November 2017 is too long to wait for a new local plan. The plan governs where things like housing and commercial developments will be built, and Philip Jackson, leader of the local Conservative group, believes leaving it so long leaves treasured greenfield sites open to overdevelopment. But in a cabinet meeting, the council said November 2017 was a wholly appropriate timescale, as they will need to conduct extensive public consultation. An extra £1 million has been pledged to improve hospital staffing by the Hull and East Yorkshire Hospitals Trust. The investment will affect staffing levels of nurses and midwives at Hull Royal Infirmary and Castle Hill Hospital in Cottingham. The funding is for permanent posts, and the hospitals will shortly start recruiting. In Bloom season continues around our area. So far it's been the big re-entries that have been judged, but on Monday it was the turn of first-time entry Habra, and they were hoping to impress with spectacular displays throughout the village. And there's talk that the Habra sapling will be in full bloom when next year rolls round. We spoke to the In Bloom judges about what this means to a small village like Habra.
I think ultimately it's about developing a sense of pride in the place where you're living or working. The people we've so far met today show that already, but the Bloom is a wonderful way of bringing the community together.
Everybody enjoys coming home to an attractive village, and this reflects on every individual.
This Sunday sees the second annual East Yorkshire Show and Family Fun Day take place in Ellerton. The East Yorkshire Village will host the event, which includes a farmers market, food fair, local musicians and a charity rugby match between a GB All-Stars team and a Hull Select 11. It is £2 entry for adults and £1 for children. Gates open at 10 a.m.
Something we came up with last year, so it's the second year we've done it, and it was really, we felt there was a need for a nice family event, getting all the community involved, so involving community groups, giving them a platform to promote themselves, but really just giving families a great traditional family day out that wasn't going to break the bank. I think it's a great way to unite the community. As far as community groups, we've got people like the Scouts involved, we've got East Yorkshire Council, the police, the fire brigade, obviously Humber Rescue. It gives families the opportunity to actually interact with some of these things. A lot of the sort of charity stroke community stands that we've got coming today, coming this weekend, are all about promoting other things. So we've got kids doing majorettes, so kids can see what it's like to do majorettes. We've got some street dancers, so they can try out street dancing. The Scouts are doing go-karting. It's things like this that they maybe, I think children today sit around at home too much. So it's a great way to see what's available in the local community.
That's all for now. Goodbye.
For almost 40 years, Cleethorpes Carnival has been the high point of the summer in the Lincolnshire resort. This year is likely to be a vintage celebration with floats, music, dancing and even a continental market. James Dunn took a look at some of the preparations and discovered what the carnival means to some of its participants.
Preparations are now underway for the 38th Cleethorpes Carnival Parade. It's the highlight of the tourism events calendar, but as well as bringing people in, it brings this community together, drawing in people from all walks of life, from beauty queens to zombies.
I've got like a really long dress, so I've got to wear my crown, got to wear my sash.
I do it all on my own. I do all the, scenery for the float, my own. I start nearly after the first carnival. I'm straight away I'm on it.
Well, hopefully it's going to be 20, 30 zombies running, walking around, growling at people for the whole carnival.
They're out there in the community and we're showing off who we are. So we've had a big banner made by Youngs, and obviously the children are really keen to wave and let everyone know who we are.
A few years ago, the carnival looked as though it had had its last hurrah as the local authority withdrew funding. Luckily, Young stepped in as a sponsor and it was saved.
Well, as one of the largest employers in the area, we have a lot of local people that work for us, and it's very, very nice to be able to give back, and I know that the people that work with us enjoy it. Oh, it makes me feel incredibly proud. I've worked for Youngs for about 12 years now, and I've always enjoyed it, but it makes me very, very proud that we're part of the community.
But they're not the only ones who value this vibrant and nostalgic event. It seems everyone in the town has memories from the Cleethorpes Carnival, and hopefully they'll have many more in years to come.
It is, because everyone enjoys it and they look forward to it, and it's a good day of the year. It's just lively and really good.
It's all nice for everybody, really. I love it. I love it to bits.
Yeah, it's like years ago, well, back in the day when I was a little nipper. I used to do it for my dad's work, so I've done the carnival a few times. So this year it's going to be a bit different because I'm a bit older and I'm actually organising the events.
I remember when I did Humpty Dumpty for the disabled school, then Humberston School, I believe. Yes, and we came first there.
One of the float designs we had, all the boys would be dressed as sharks and all the girls would be dressed as octopuses. It was just the costume building that we didn't fancy, the octopuses all over.
It doesn't sound much like fun.
The people you meet, and you get to know people like Mrs. Pigeon, and she's very good, nice girl.
The carnival is the result of cooperation between the local council, police, residents, participants and sponsors. In recent years there have been fears that it might not even be possible. James spoke to the event's organiser, Leonor Pigeon.
So Leonor, thank you very much for joining me here today, but it's going to be a great one, isn't it?
I think it's absolutely great because it's such a good community event, and that's why Youngs wanted to get involved in it. They saw it as a good community event for the area which pulled everyone together, from the young to the elderly, people with disabilities, and we've fetched dogs in. There's so many people come in and enjoy themselves, and also the time they're together, putting floats together, it draws groups together as well, which is absolutely great. And we've so many young people come on board that putting things together, and they work so hard. So, that's your reward, I think, when you see the people, the laughing faces as you're going along, the elderly sitting in, the old folks home at the top of the hill. They're all out there waving at the old folks home on the main road. They're all out there waving, and everybody's waving back at them. And it's lovely. A few years ago, this carnival, which is a big part of this town's history, really, was in serious danger, wasn't it? It was. 8 years ago, the council ceased organising it, and it was just, that was it. That was going to be the end. So a small group of us got together, and we said, we'll save it, but I didn't realise how much work and worry it was going to be. But it's such a worthwhile thing because so many people get involved. Anyone can come along. old people, young people, people with disabilities, just come and enjoy the day, either watching it or being involved in it. It's absolutely great. But it did go through quite a serious patch of where we couldn't fund it anymore. And 2 years ago we said we just couldn't find any more money. So we said, well, that would be the last one. And I remember standing at the gates watching them come in at the end. And some of the floats were playing The Carnival is Over. And the tears was, just,
must have been a real tearjerker.
It was very, very emotional. And then lo and behold, 3 weeks later, Youngs was ringing me and saying, come on down and talk to us and let's see what we can do together. And it's gone on from there.
And presumably, which is, why you, as part of Cleethorpes Event Limited, who organise the carnival, and why Youngs, the reason they get involved because they think it's something worth saving. And the thing that you get that comes across to you, the more people you talk about, is just how much of a part of this town's history the carnival is. Everyone has memories.
I was involved in the carnival building floats a long time ago with the Girls Brigade and Boys Brigade, and we had the Girls Brigade on, and all the little ones, only little ones, and it's something I do put in my rules, please take a bucket on board your float if you've got young children now, and we forgot to take one. So this little girl was caught a little bit short and she had to use Miss Muffet's mixing bowl. Now that really makes me laugh every time I think about it. This is its 38th year. And also you've got now children coming on whose parents was on, whose grandparents was on. So you've got the families have a long history with it and they want to be involved. And it's quite amazing, how many people are coming in. Like I was saying about pedestrian groups, there's huge amount of pedestrians in, with floats. I mean, one float's got 100 pedestrians with it. Can you imagine that? So, fingers crossed, the weather's kind to us and we have a good day. But as I say, we did go through a rough patch where we thought we might lose it. And it's part of Cleethorpes' heritage, isn't it now?
Yeah.
It's been going so long. And it's over the years, it's raised so much money for charities. Last year, we supported nearly 50 charities. Which is absolutely wonderful. All local charities, they all got a little bit, not a huge amount, but they all got a little bit, which is, the people come, they collect the buckets, and they think they're doing their bit, and there again, the people watching, they drop the coppers in, and it's the money flowing around the town, isn't it?
I mean, it's interesting you say that they all get a little bit, but that's kind of what it's about, isn't it? It's to get as many people involved as possible, and it kind of does do that, wouldn't you say?
Yes, they get involved from all sides, from people, a gentleman came in tonight here, he said, I'm sorry I can't stay, can I pick up the buckets and stuff, and he's giving 3 lorries into the parade, so the hauliers come on board, the scaffolders come on board, the people building floats, voluntary people, so many volunteers, when you actually look at them all, and they've all done their best for this one day, which is absolutely great, isn't it?
I know you've been doing this for a lot of years now, and I'm pretty sure that every year you tell me it's the last year, and you are a glutton for punishment.
I keep on saying, we want young people to come and take over, but it's like everything. Nobody wants to step up to the mark, do they?
But at what point? Because I know you put months of your life into this every year, but at what point do you realise it was all worth it?
I know this sounds very strange. It really takes me back to the day my daughter got married. The whole day passed, but I didn't really see the day because you're so on edge watching everything all day. And that's the same on parade day. When I'm stood waving them into the arena at the end, then I see the floats. I think, oh, that's a lovely one. Oh, how didn't I see that? Or why that music? And then when I've got them all safely in there, and then I go, oh, and a deep breath, I'm so pleased that everybody's got from A to B safely.
And I'm sure you're not alone.
No, I'm sure I am. I've got a lot of people, biting the fingernails.
But I mean, on behalf of all of our viewers, thank you for everything you do, and hopefully long may Cleethorpes Carnival Parade survive.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be probably kicking up the daisies, but I'd like to see it reach 50.
12 more years.
Oh, well, I will be kicking up the daisies. Thank you.
That's all we have time for tonight. If you do have a story for us, please email news@estuary.tv or contact us via our Twitter or Facebook pages, or pick up the phone and call 01472 315561. Until next time, goodbye.